Okay, so we're going to look at negative exponents. So let's look at a problem. Let's say that we have 2x to the negative 3 times 4x squared to the second power. Okay, now anytime you see a negative exponent, you're going to draw a line because that means that there's going to be some on the top and some on the bottom. So we're going to go through one piece at a time, and we're going to sort them out, top and bottom, top and bottom. So I want you to look at this, this term right here. We have 2x to the negative 3. Now the negative 3 only applies to the x. Okay, if it was 2x to the negative 3, the whole thing, there would be parentheses, but there's not. So that means the 2 is going to go here on top. Okay. And then the x, the negative, means it's going to go on the bottom. So we go x to the third power on the bottom. Okay, now we're looking at this term right here. So the parentheses mean that this entire thing here is going to go on the top because we're looking for the sign of the exponent, and since it's positive, it's going to go on the top, but it says it's going to go on the top 2 times. So that means we write the entire thing. Okay, so 4x squared 2 times on the top. All right, now we're going to simplify the top and simplify the bottom. So we take our coefficients, okay, that's the large numbers, we're going to multiply those together. 2 times 4 times 4, which equals 32. And then we're going to take the x's, so we have x squared, which means x times x. So that means we have 2 x's there, 2 x's there. So that's x to the 4th power. And then we've got x to the 3rd on the bottom. Now, x over x cancels. Anything over itself is equal to 1. So that means that we have 3 x's here that we can cancel. 3 x's here, which means there's going to be 1 x left on top, and the answer would be 32x. Okay, so let's try another one. Oops, wrong thing, sorry. So let's say that I have 3y cubed to the negative 3 times 4y squared. All right, so again, we're going to start with this. Anytime there's parentheses, that means the whole thing. Okay, so this whole entire thing is going to go on the bottom 3 times. So it looks like this. 3y to the 3rd power times 3y to the 3rd power times 3y to the 3rd power. That's on the bottom. Whole thing on the bottom 3 times. All right, now the 4y to the 2nd power, none of those are negative, so they're all going to go on top. So 4y to the 2nd power. So now we're going to simplify. So on the top we have 4y to the 2nd, and we have 3 times 3 times 3, okay, which is 27. And then we look at our y's, and we have 3 y's here, 3 y's here, and 3 y's here. Remember, this means y times y times y, which means that when we multiply them all together, we're going to have 9. Now, if there's a common factor between 4 and 27, then we would simplify that, just like we would simplify a fraction. Divide both the top number and the bottom number by the same factor. There is no common factor between 4 and 27, so we're going to look at the y's. And since there's 2 y's here, we can cancel out 2 y's down here, and we started with 9, so we're going to be left with 7. That leaves 4 on top and 27y to the 7th power on the bottom. That would be our final answer. Okay, let's say I have 5m to the negative 2 times m times 3m squared to the negative 2. Okay, so once again, we draw our line. We start with the 5. Okay, the 5 has a smaller one. Okay, the 5 is not included on the exponent. The exponent only applies to the m because there's no parentheses. Okay, so we have 5 on top, m squared on the bottom. Notice that a negative on the exponent goes away when we put it on the bottom. We're flipping it over. That's what it means. Okay, on top, this is going to go, this is going to go here. Okay, then we have parentheses, so that means this entire thing, okay, the whole thing is going to go on the bottom 2 times. So times 3m squared times 3m squared. So we simplify that, and that means that we have 5m on top, and we look at all the m's. So 2m's here, 2m's here, 2 here, and well, let's look at the coefficients first. We have 3 times 3, which is 9. And then we have 2, 2, and 2, which makes 6 m's. So m squared to the 6th power, excuse me. All right, now we have 1 m on top and we have 6 on the bottom. So we can cancel this 1 and take out 1 here. We're left with m to the 5th on the bottom. And there is no common factor between 5 and 9. So that means we have 5 on top and 9m to the 5th on the bottom. And we're left with that. All right, now one more, ones that have 0 exponents, okay? So let's say I have 4r to the 0 power times 8r squared times r to the negative 4. Okay, so we're looking at this, okay? And remember, it's not this whole thing that's to the 0 power because there's no parentheses. So we're looking just at r to the 0, and anything to the 0 power is 1. So this actually means 4 times 1. That's 1. Okay, that equals 1. And it's not r, it's not 1r, it's just 1, equals 1. Okay, so we got 4 times 1 here, so that's going to go on the top, 4, times 8r squared, that goes on top as well, and then r to the negative 4 is going to go on the bottom. So this means, r on the bottom 4 times, which is what we have. And if you want to write it out, r times r times r times r, you can. Let's see if this will erase. No. Okay, so we're going to multiply, and we get 4 times 8, which is 32, r squared on top, and r to the 4th on the bottom. We're going to cancel. We got 2 r's here, which means we can take 2 r's off here, and that cancels. So we end up with 32 on top, r squared on the bottom.